Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is an honor to conclude debate at second reading on Bill C-218, the Safe and Regulated Sports Betting Act. First off, Madam Speaker, I want to thank all the members from all parties who have risen today to support the important legislation. It's not often you get members from the Conservatives, the Liberals, the NDP, and the Bloc all rising in favor of a given initiative. But that is what we have here this afternoon. Now, Madam Speaker, this Sunday is the biggest sport betting event of the year. It's the Super Bowl, number 55. Millions of dollars will be wagered here in Canada on everything to the win, to the props, the point spread, and then the coin toss, and so on. Unfortunately, though, Madam Speaker, almost all of that money will be going to offshore websites and criminal organizations. But we can change that. By passing Bill C-218, we can make sure that going forward, profits from sports wagering is put back into our communities, into healthcare, education, problem gambling programs, youth sports, and other important services, rather than the pockets of offshore companies or even criminals. Now, back in December, the government introduced their own legislation to achieve the same goal as C-218. And I supported that legislation. In fact, Madam Speaker, I even told the Minister of Justice months before that he should adopt my bill as government legislation so that we could get it through the process as quickly as possible. I didn't care if my name was on the bill, as long as the much-needed change was made in Parliament. Eventually, the minister finally took me up on my suggestion and then introduced Bill C-13. To show my good faith and desire to work with the minister and the government to get the single event sports betting legalized, I even traded down in the order of precedence to give the government a fair chance to bring their legislation forward. Unfortunately, though, the introduction of the government's bill hasn't sped up the process. In fact, if anything, it has slowed it down. Twice now, the government has canceled debate on C-13 at the last second in favor of other legislation. Now, I get it. The government has priorities, and there are other important pieces of legislation before the House. However, if the government cannot make C-13 a priority, then they don't have to. They can support C-218, and all the work can be done during the private member's business instead of during government business. It is true that there will be some slight differences between my bill and the government's legislation. However, I am confident that those differences can be addressed at the Justice Committee, and that amendments could be made if needed. I am sure that the Justice Committee can make the right decision on this. So, Madam Speaker, let's get to the legislation past second reading, sent to committee, amended if necessary, and then go back to the House so we can get it to the Senate. The legalization of single event sports betting clearly has support from members of all parties, and the government clearly realizes that we should legalize it. Let's not play politics. Let's get this job done. Madam Speaker, Sunday is the biggest betting day in this country, and we are missing out in millions of dollars for our communities. I want to thank all parties again today for their support of legalized single game betting. There is a little bit of difference, as I mentioned, between C-218 and C-13. But let's pass this bill, the private member bill that will come forward in the next shortly 2 weeks. And then we can have the discussion in the Justice Committee. We are open to the amendments. We realize the horse racing industry has issues. Madam Speaker, it's great privilege that I have brought this bill forward. As mentioned before, others from the NDP also brought it forward. And together in the House of Commons, this will be the betterment for the country if we can pass Bill C-218. Thank you.